Right, here we are today at King's Cliffe. We're going to have a look around. The museum's opening today, so we'll have a look and see what's around today and see if we can interview one or two people in the know, and we'll see how the day goes. And this area is the museum here at King's Cliffe. Opening day today. And we've got 384th Bombardment Group down there. And some other people. Yeah, King's Cliffe. Afternoon. Met up again with Gary Brooks. Hi, Gary.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. We've been at Deanthorpe where you had your B-17 model.
Yep.
And also at Polbrook as well.
Yep, that's
we'll
right.
Try and put some footage in to show you what Gary's flight was all about. We had a good day there, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. Wasn't as windy as today though.
No.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about these planes here then.
So yeah, the first off, the one in the distance. That's a sort of out of the box foam kit, which I just enjoy flying.
Yeah.
Relatively guilt-free. Can fly that most places, and that's meant to resemble one of the airplanes. Actually, the most decorated ace that flew from here in the 77th fighter group, Ernest Feeblehorn, I think his name is. So yeah, June night. So that I enjoy flying, and then I'm at the process where I'm trying to fly bigger, more substantial stuff that isn't as affected by the wind. So onto this Hangar 9 model, about 1800 millimeters wingspan. Built from a almost ready to fly kit, and then I've repainted the entire thing again to resemble an actual plane that flew from here February 1945, I think.
Okay.
Didn't have a name, and it was only went out 2 or 3 times, got one ME-09 kill, and then unfortunately the next pilot who took it out, I think, hit a tree coming out of strafe. So yeah, it's about to have its engine installed for the first time.
This one's petrol.
Yeah. Petrol with an oil mix. It's a lot of the stuff I'm learning for the first time. Like I say, I'm making that leap from electric to petrol. But yeah, I've got to break the engine in, then install it.
We're speaking to Jim Barton, who's actually got a very, very special jacket on. Can you tell us a little bit about the jacket?
Yeah, he did his 35 missions. He was a navigator, Polbrook, and he did a second tour on the 25th Bomb Group on the red-tailed mosquitoes.
Right, okay, and that's the 351st Bombardment Group.
Yes.
At Polbrook Airfield.
Yep, that's
Part
it.
of where Clark Gable was as well.
Clark Gable, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the actual authentic, the proper jacket.
And that's his 25th Bomb Group patch. He's got his name on there.
Yeah. to say hello to a man that's responsible for today and the museum. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you, Ian?
Not so bad, thanks. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and what this is about?
Well, the museum is something that we started earlier this year. We were offered the building by the owners of the holiday park, who had an empty building and asked whether or not we would like to do something with it. I've had the makings of a museum in my garage for probably the past 10 years in terms of slowly collecting Kingscliff related items and display cabinets and so on. So it was an easy answer to say yes, and then we've slowly been moving stuff in. We've been getting stuff from other people, so we've had people who've been donating items, and as the kind of momentum has grown towards today and the opening, we've had more and more items being donated. People have given us money towards the whole project, which is fantastic. The people who come, and we've taken on airfield tours, have again shown an interest and helped out as well. And so it's all led to where we are today and the actual opening, and all of these people who are around coming to visit. So in terms of the displays, lots of it is based on the stories of the people who flew from the airfield. We are very much trying to focus on the people rather than just things and stuff. So all of the items that we've got in the museum are directly linked to Kingscliff. It's not stuff from other airfields particularly, it is all Kingscliff stuff. So we've got our display cabinet here, which shows a number of the items that have been either donated or recovered from the base. So we've got various bits that show the kind of the social life of what was going on, the mess tins and knives and forks and toothpaste and all the other stuff. We've got a Gillette razor at the back there. Programmes that were taken back to the States by one of the crew, air crew from here, from the Embassy Theatre in Peterborough, shows that they went to. We have a large number of bottles that have come up from the site. So the three kind of bluey coloured ones are all from Smith's brewery in Oundle. So they're all local. And the big one's dated to 1942. The other two are to 1944. So these are genuine wartime ones. There's a Booth's Distillery, which is a gin bottle. And then Bovril things, Marmite, all these things that were being used at the time. We've got some bits of aircraft, and again, we're trying not to go overboard on bits of dug up aircraft, but you've got the various casings from ammunition that was used. So the ones at the back are 20mm casings that were used by the Spitfires that were here and later by the American Lightnings. The middle ones are 50 caliber bullets, which were used, or cartridges, which were used again by the American Mustangs and Lightnings. And then the ones at the front are 303 rounds that were used by the RAF Spitfires. It's a couple of fuel caps and some parts from drop tanks and so on. The orange thing is a roller from the ammunition tray on a Mustang. So the ammunition belts would have rolled over that as they went through to the gun. At the back is an inert arming pistol from a bomb. So it would have been a 500-pound bomb that they used on Lightnings in the run-up to D-Day. We've got a piece of the ammunition casing, the ammunition tray casing from a Mustang, and an engine grill from an Allison engine off a Lightning. Again, these are all from Kingscliff. So this is all local stuff. So these, again, models are all Kingscliff-based aircraft. So every model in here is of an aircraft that flew from Kingscliff. And then at the bottom there, we have a set of gloves that were issued to American air gunners, which have a separate forefinger and thumb, but were very, very highly prized by Lightning pilots because the Lightning wasn't great at keeping the pilot warm. So these gloves were used by a pilot here and given to a local lad at the end of the war who's kept them in immaculate condition. And we now have them here. The goggles at the back there are the same goggles in the actual photo of the pilot there. So that's Kenneth Skinner, who was based here, and whose grandson is with us today, who's come over from Chicago to be with us today. And those goggles, it's a one-time only display. They're here today, but are going back to the States with him. But those are those goggles that he's wearing in that photo taken in 1945.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about, it's the valuable items, isn't it?
Yes. So these won't be here when the museum isn't manned, so it'll be open. But these are the kind of items that will be safely tucked away and won't be on display.
Yeah, see, what a lot of people don't realise is that the cold temperatures, you get a few thousand feet up, and then you're like in the minus degrees C temperatures, aren't you?
And the Lightning was renowned for not keeping its pilots particularly warm. They were very cold, and after long escort missions, there were numerous cases where the pilots had to be lifted out of the aircraft by their ground crew because they were just frozen solid.
Yeah, frostbite and that sort of
Absolutely. And then the other big item we've got here is the carburettor,
okay.
which is the carburettor off a Hercules engine that was from a Wellington from 425 Squadron that ended up at King's Cliffe at the end of 1942. It needed repairs and came here, or landed here, having damaged its wing, hit a tree on a low flying exercise. And it stayed here for a little while it was being repaired. And then a crew from 425 Squadron came down to collect it at the beginning of February 1943. But in getting it onto the runway, they over-revved the engine. And when it took off, it therefore didn't work properly. Clouds of blue smoke, funny noise, and the aircraft crashed a couple of miles off the end of the runway. And this was dug up about 20 years ago.
Right, we've got a chap here by the name of Duncan. Hi.
Hello there, how are you doing?
Yeah, so you've got quite an authentic uniform on there.
Yeah, that's right. It's a World War II reproduction uniform for fighter pilot.
Okay.
The parachute that I'm wearing would be a fighter pilot.
Okay, well I'll move around and show the uniform. Okay.
It's in a seat configuration, so when you're in the plane, you'll be sitting on this as part of the seat.
Yeah.
And then the pouch on top of it would have the life raft and basic survival and escape equipment in there.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then on this side, it's got the walk-around bottle for the bailout.
Yep.
So that would be your temporary oxygen supply if you had to bail out. Give you about 15-20 minutes just so you could get down to an altitude where you didn't need oxygen.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.